What would you say your most valuable asset is as a boxer?
My attitude, my mental part of it, as in a lot of people lack discipline. And it sounds so easy for them to tighten up. But guess what? You got bad habits, you don't have enough self-control.
How do you feel about fighting somebody that's known for PEDs?
So it's just like your hard work didn't do that. You had to take something to do that. So therefore, I can't condone any of that.
When I was growing up, I used to love watching Mike Tyson's fights. I used to be like, damn, he really knocking folks out. Do you feel like his success was really that great then by saying like, okay, bro, you knocked out a bunch of nobodies that nobody knows?
Hold on. At one point, Mike Tyson was nobody. At one point, Muhammad Ali was nobody. At one point, Floyd Mayweather was nobody. You gotta do something to become somebody. So I gotta fight this person that nobody knows. I gotta fight that person nobody knows.
Do you plan on moving up to different weight classes and try to get belts in those weight classes as well, or?
So I thought about doing that as well until I met Shannon Briggs. We took a picture together. He put his fist on my shoulder when he took the picture. If you look at the picture, his fist was the size of my head.
Lights, camera, action, this a movie, come record it. I feel like I'm Dane, cause they know that I'm important. Got a vibe just like a Honda, when she run, she act accordingly. And I feel so important when I'm rocking this exploited. They beefing on the well, see they feeling like they split. She say that I'm a dog, but it's $1 million mud. And I got the game back, that's $1 million trust. We chasing meals, shout out Slim, this $1 million cut.
All right, bet, y'all. We are back with another episode of $1 Million Cuts, man. And we had one of our most valuable guests today, Brian Norman, bro. 26 fights, 20 knockouts, man.
You gotta get the name right.
What it is?
Brian Norman Jr., my brother.
We gonna let
originator Brian Norman Sr., that's my daddy, man.
Okay then.
Know what I'm saying?
We gonna let my boy introduce himself real quick, and we gonna get it right. Brian Norman Jr. in the building, bro. Y'all stop playing with him. We gonna let him give him a little, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Brian Norman Jr., 26-0, 20 knockouts. Youngest world champion in boxing right now. I just turned 24, 25. It's gonna be my year, man. It's trying to go ahead and take over the whole boxing game. 147, this mine. 140, y'all better look out too. I just might come down and step in y'all division too. Let's get it.
Y'all heard it first, man. We in the building with it. We finna jump into this little haircut interview, dog. Shit, we gonna spill the beans on everything real quick. Let's get to it. Hey. All right, y'all, so we are here with $1 Million Cuts. Like I said before, we just did a cool little smooth intro. We know who we working with. Let's get into the real top questions of the day, man. Like I said, we got Brian Norman Jr. Don't y'all leave that Jr. off, but boom. My boy, I remember I did a little pre-interview with Brian, y'all, so I ran a few questions by him, but that ain't the real shit just yet. But I do want to get this question out the way. Brian, you always say that you got down, love the old school boxing, right?
Yeah.
So who's your favorite fighters from the old school way? Like, who you got as your top fighters from the old way?
I can't really say who my number one is because I watch too much of it, but I got to go James, Tony, Roy Jones. You got Mike McCallum, Jerry McClellan. Shoot, the list go on and on. Salvador Sanchez, Marvin Hagley. That's my dog for real, for real. That's who I really did studying and got my whole attitude from. Like, it's gonna sound funny, but I call myself the God of War.
Yeah.
The reason being, you may win the battle. You know what I'm saying? You may win this round, you may win that round, but best believe by the end of this fight, you're going to sleep. That's all I know. By the end of this fight, I'm winning this thing.
And with that being said, he can back it up, y'all. 26 fight, 20 knockouts. Y'all hear me? 20 knockouts, bro. So y'all remember that. He is the God of War. You can win one of the 12 rounds, but get what? It finna go, hey, you know what I'm saying? But boom. So what I was leading up to with that is that what is the change, or what was the pause in between old school and new school boxing at this point? Because you always have the critics, the casuals. You always have boxers that say they got boring, that people fell asleep on it, that it wasn't as hype as it was. It seemed like it's making a turnaround. What would you say was going on in between that time frame?
Now I'd say boxing starting to kick back up. You got guys like Devin Haney, T.O. Themo, Ryan Garcia, you know, those kind of guys, Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence. They start to break it back to the old school, which means, but I feel like I'm the best, so I'm finna try to prove it by fighting the best. And I can do nothing but respect that, and I'm finna join that line as well. 2025, I'm finna join that line as well. but I love the old school even more because they wasn't trying to be pretty. They wasn't trying to be flashy. They wasn't trying to do anything. It was just straight up, I'm finna dog you, plain and simple. I'm finna skillfully dog you out though. Of course, we just finna go out there and just throw no punches. But you know what I'm saying? Just, you finna get this work at the end of the day. And I love that. I love that. I love the attitude they had. For example, back to Marvin Hagler, the attitude he had, James Lights Out Tony, the attitude he had. He went out, he started at, I believe, middleweight, went all the way up to heavyweight. Just imagine that, a middleweight fighting heavyweight. You get what I'm saying? So it's a different attitude that they had that I'm bringing to the game again.
Facts. So boom, I heard a few things that he said within his, his answer for that just now. I want to know about a few little things. So with old school boxing versus new school boxing right now, I noticed you named Devin Haney, and Devin Haney just had his fight with Ryan Garcia. So, and y'all know how it ended on some shit. We're not gonna get into all that, but what I want to know is, do you feel like old school boxers was taking all fights? Like they didn't really dodge a lot of fights?
Of course, I wasn't in the time, but from what it seemed like, I'm gonna say yes. You got what they call the Fantastic Four with Marvin Hagler, Sugar Ray, Tommy Hearns, and Roberto Duran. That's my dog right there.
Yup.
Duran, that's my dog. I forgot to add him on my favorites list.
Yup.
That's my dog for real, for real.
Real living legend, y'all.
Yeah, and I met him. I finally met him. But,
Yup.
yeah, real deal. It seemed like Wilfred Benitez, all of them, they wasn't dodging nothing.
So
like, real deal. You know Tommy Hearns, right?
Yeah. Tommy Hearns.
Imagine he's 6 foot something, and he throwing bricks in his gloves. He fast as ever, and he fighting at welterweight. Just imagine that, like a welterweight throwing bricks at your face from a distance, fast, hard, everything like that. I'm pretty sure today's fighters will try to, try to push that off as much as possible. But back then, let's get him while he in his prime. That
was Tommy's trilogy that he had with Sugar Ray, right?
They fought twice. They fought twice.
They only fought twice?
They fought once when they was younger and once when they was older.
Yup. So y'all go check that out right there, man, if y'all want to get a good understanding of Tommy Hearns and Sugar Ray as well. Great boxer, man. These are two legends, man. Great. So y'all know he got his boxing IQ is out the charts. He's naming people that I didn't really catch up on to. I know the big names, y'all, but he's really on it. Like you can tell he studies this game for real. So with that being said too, do y'all feel like new school boxing is going back to that, to where it's like they taking all fights and stuff like that?
So you got up and coming fighters as well. Of course, he's a little bit older than me, but you got Keyshawn Davis. He calling out all the top guys. I know he called out Javante Davis. He's trying to fight Tio. Let's go under that. You got Abdullah Mason. He on the come up. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like now it's starting to go back to that time period of I got to show that I'm the best.
So even for you, are you more of a call out type of person? Like, do you call people out?
I wasn't at first, but now I got a whole different mindset. That's why I said 2025 is my year. I feel like I've been quiet for too long. That's my whole thing. Like, you see me, I'm chill, I mellowed out, I never get up, you get what I'm saying? So
thanks.
So now, like, at the same time, in this world, they'll never give you anything. So therefore, I gotta take it.
So even with that being said, even though I know you said you've been quiet for a minute, y'all, what age did you get your first championship? Like, you was a world champ, right?
I was the youngest champion.
Yeah.
23 years old, bro.
And how old are you now?
I just turned 24.
Exactly, y'all. Yeah. So like, for him to say, it's really an understatement to say that he been quiet, y'all. If you know, my boy is a champion at 23. He just turned 24. Yeah. So it's like, being quiet is an understatement for him right now, y'all. Yeah. What about for the future? How do you plan on to stop being in that, being not acknowledged as much? That's what I'm gonna call it. I ain't gonna say you being quiet. I'm gonna say it's like people just not, they got you as an underdog right now. And it's proven that you like that for real. Yeah. What are you planning on doing to change that narrative?
Well, you see what I'm doing right now? For example, talking to y'all, marketing myself. So I gotta give a shout out to Floyd Mayweather for this. To me, he was the perfect professional boxer. And this is why I say that. His whole life, he been in the gym. Like, even as a little kid, his daddy and uncle was training. He was always in the gym. I was raised the same way. Like I said, I'm the junior. My daddy originated. He the senior. When he used to be training, I was in the gym all the time just watching him. But he got the training part down. But guess what? Right after that, he come outside the ring. He talking crazy. He getting the fans watching. Love him or hate him. You gonna pay to see him. You know what I'm saying? Also, let's go back even farther than that. Muhammad Ali, he did the exact same thing. I know you seen him pull up on Sonny Liston. He was trying to fight George Foreman, all that kind of stuff. The whole thing is, all right, you're doing your thing inside the ring, do your thing outside the ring as well. You know, talk your talk, walk your walk.
Thanks. So even with those type of shout outs, man, I noticed you mentioned Floyd, and I know Floyd always had like a family relationship going on in the gym. Yeah. Does your dad coach you at the moment?
Yeah, that's my dog. Yeah, he taught me. I'm gonna say 99% of the things I know. The only 1% is me. Like I said, I studied the greats. So me just watching, and studying the greats 24/7, pretty much. I ain't glad that's all I really be doing. I feel like they laid the blueprint. Like if it's right in your face, the proof is in the pudding. You get what I'm saying? Just do what they do, but just push it just a little bit more. So it's bound to happen. If I'm doing what the greats are doing, I'm bound to be great. That's how I look at it.
What was it like for both of y'all, you and your father, to win a championship at 23, knowing that he in your corner and you won the belt? How was you feeling at that time? Like, how were both of y'all reactions?
So, me, I'm never satisfied. So it's like when I won it, for some reason, my goal got pushed up. So like I won this, but I need something else. That's how I feel. Even right now, it's like, okay, 23-year-old champion, congratulations, but I'm not at the finish line. That's how I look at it. So on my end, of course I'm happy about it, but it's not a big celebration as others might think. You get what I'm saying? But on my daddy end, that's a whole different thing. He got the real deal celebration part on it. For example, he raised 4 kids by himself. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I think since he was like 24 or 25, and I was the baby. You feel me? So now imagine from the rooter to the tutor, he done trained the champion. You get what I'm saying? And not just any champion, a young champion, the youngest champion of the game. So just imagine that. And also, he got your name. He got even your nickname, the Assassin. He got everything about you. He walked like you. He talked like you. So I know for a fact, for him, it's the biggest thing in the world.
Thanks. And your father is Brian Norman Sr.
Yes, sir.
And he is your coach. So how is that relationship between y'all to where it's like, boom, I got my father that was a previous boxer and he was damn good at it himself, and now he is training you. Do you feel like that evolution for you is higher than most because you have a father that actually played the game? Mm-hmm. And boxing is not a game that y'all can play either, by the way. I'm just saying like how it just goes with you right now. Like, does that help out a lot?
Yeah, big time it does help out a lot. I feel like I got an advantage over everybody because of experience. Is like you said, he was already in the game, so he was able to find out, you know, the business side of everything. He was able to find out, you know, the fighting side of everything. And closer to the end of his career, he had vertigo. So his body literally couldn't fight. Like, you know, he had balance problems and things of that nature. So even if he wanted to fight, his body it can't do it. But that's when he finally got his mental right. At first, he was hard-headed. He told me he was real hard-headed. He wouldn't listen. And also with that as well, same thing with me listening to the greats. I listen to my daddy as well. I'm real big on learning. Mm-hmm. He said he didn't listen until the end when it was too late. So I picked up on that early. Listen. So I listened to him. I listened to all the greats and things of that nature. But once again, he taught me that. I got the big advantage of that. I've been listening since a younger age. He got the smarts, so therefore I should listen. If somebody knows something, why wouldn't you listen to them? And he know a lot, so therefore I listen.
So with this upcoming fight that you have, it's on the 25th, right?
We don't have a definite date just yet, but it is in March. We're still looking for a date in March right now. Okay. But yeah, so it's not a definite date just yet.
This fight is basically for you to, you know, to showcase your skills and make sure that you look good for everybody and stuff like that. The rumors are after this fight, though, that y'all are pushing for a Boots fight. Y'all are looking for Ennis. What would your father be telling you for that fight? Like, what is something that you feel like he will prepare you on for that fight right there? Because that's a big fight, of course, and that's something that you're really striving to get, right?
Yeah.
What do you think the advice would be like for that fight right there?
First, let me take it back to the fight in March real quick. I wouldn't try to say it's just a throwaway fight, necessarily speaking, because I know his attitude coming into the fight. This is a life-changing fight. I know that feeling of it's just one more fight and everything can change. I'm a champion, I got this and I got that. So he finna train as hard as possible. He finna give everything he got. So of course I'm just finna look past him, but looking past him, after I knock him out, I do want to fight Boots after that or any big name, but Boots being the main one simply because he trying to move up and I'm trying to catch him before he leave. I don't want people to say it was too late or anything like that. I want to catch him right now while it's still hot. I need that fight for a fact, but what my daddy would want me to work on or things of that nature, simply be you, be yourself, trust yourself. The work speaks for itself. I'm working harder than ever. I ain't fight in, I believe, 7 months right now, but I've been in the gym the whole time, so you will see a whole completely different fighter when I do step back in the ring. And I'm pretty sure on that fight, it's gonna be another big jump in skill, talent, and things of that nature when I fight Boots as well.
Thanks. I like the way that you kind of went back, because I do feel like I bypassed it a little bit, putting it in that terminology. So what was when you first got your belt, what was your feeling beforehand, like when you came into the fight knowing that this was your chance to grab the belt? What was it feeling like for you?
At first, it was a surreal feeling, because as a kid, this is what I dreamed about forever. You know what I'm saying? So like, dreams real deal do come true. It was like a movie moment, but it was even before the fight. As soon as I was outside the contract, everything just hit me in the face and, oh snap, this is my time. And that's when I was already training hard as ever, working hard as ever, but I kicked it to a whole nother gear that I didn't even know I had. So now it's only up from there. Like, even from that, I learned so much in that one training camp, and even after the fight, I learned so much. It was like, okay, I won the belt while I was feeling like this, and I didn't know as much as I did now. So how far can I take? Also, we keep going back to this at 23 years old. So now I'm looking back, okay, what about 5 years from now? How much knowledge do I have brought in at the time, all the work I put in? Every year it's a big leap in my skills, so it's like, how far can I really did take it? So I'm really a dreamer, I'm really a visionary. So I keep looking further, I keep looking farther as I can think, and I just feel like I can take over the world.
So for this guy that you got coming up for March, how do you feel that he's gonna come in during the fight? Do you feel like he's gonna be super hungry? You think he's gonna be trying to score a big knockdown in the first couple rounds? What would you say the game plan for him would be for you right now? And what would yours be on the vice versa?
His attitude coming to the fight, I already know for a fact he finna be the hungriest thing ever. He got a family to feed, he got people watching him like on the big stage or things of that nature. So I know for a fact he finna come in and give it all he got for a fact. And that's when I step in and just stop all his plans, because I know for a fact you trying to stop everything. I know that feeling you got, and also I'm not satisfied myself. It's bigger than just winning the belt. I want to be a legend. I want to be a great. So my whole game plan for that is, like I said before, this is with every fight, also in the future. Go out and be you. I feel like, I know for a fact I am that dude. I am the one that y'all need to watch out for. So I do not need to know you. You need to know me. I live by that. The world is yours, and I'm finna go and take it.
True say on that testimony right there, you guys. So as we know, Brian Norman Jr. is a 26-0, 20 knockouts right now. But I gotta ask you, man, you had a fight where it was, you kind of took like a fall down, a knockdown. Mm-hmm. What was your attitude when you got knocked down and what you came back up? Like, what can you describe that situation for us and how you redeemed that fight and ended up winning and taking the victory still?
Mm-hmm. So actually, it even goes deeper than just that fight. When I signed with Top Rank, it was my first time real deal, being on the big stage like that, and fighting on TV in front of a whole bunch of fans, people looking out for me, and I was some kind of mythical legend in the boxing media at the point, because I got all these sparring stories about me and things of that nature. So it was a lot of pressure at the time, but I needed that pressure, and I was even younger at the time. I think I was 21. No, I was 22. I was 22 at the time, so I had to go through my bumps and bruises all on live television. So people may look at it as a bad thing, but I needed that. So back to that fight when I got dropped, my whole thing on that was I came in cocky. I came in knowing that after this fight, I know I got a championship fight lined up. So I was looking past my opponent and I was looking at a championship fight. You gotta realize every fight is a fight. That's another grown man in front of you. That's another grown man that got the same opportunity as you. If he win this fight, he goes up, he may have a championship opportunity as well. I wasn't thinking about that. I was just thinking about myself. I wasn't thinking about the whole outcome of everything. And like I said, just being too cocky. Shoot, even I never believed in it, but weight drained. I was weight drained coming to the fight. I was just so confident that I'm gonna make weight. I'm gonna go and knock him out real quick. Title fight lined up. So therefore I came in, I got dropped, boom. As soon as I got dropped, I really wasn't even hurt for real, it was just a flash knockdown. So when I got back up, I was really cool. You know, the bell rung. When I came back to the corner, my dad was actually laughing because we spoke on this all the time. Like, if I get dropped, take your time, don't rush anything. You know, a lot of people got pride and ego, so when they get dropped, they want to get up and show, no, I ain't hurt, I'm cool, I'm cool, I'm cool. And then try to get back and try to go crazy and try to get a knockdown back. It's not about that. Like I said, it's all about the war, not the battle.
True say
so. We got 12 rounds, let's go and use it. So I was real cool. I came back, like I said, I wasn't hurt. I got back on my pivot. I got the bouncing and moving, and I was winning the fight, but the headbutts got involved. I got caught with an elbow. My eye got cut. I still want that fight back. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's eating me alive that I can't get it right now. But
you won at the end of the day, though. You won.
I want that one. But the fight was a no contest. Hopefully in the future, you know, he can try to get lined up in the top 10 or anything like that, and we can make that fight happen.
Okay, cool. So let's move in a little deeper with it then, because with somebody that like you said, it was a flash knockout. They wouldn't really know knockdown. I'm sorry. It wouldn't know, okay, I'm hurt or nothing like that. But even with something like that, like you said, it could deteriorate people's minds sometimes, just hitting that canvas and they just like, damn, like I'm feeling prideful. Would you say that boxing is like a religion to you at this point? To like, where it's like, man, I really gotta stick to my game plan. I really gotta be disciplined in this. I really gotta fight my way through the trials and errors a lot of times. Like, how are you feeling about boxing when something like that happens, or even just getting up in the morning and saying, I gotta eat blueberries instead of pancakes and eggs? How do you feel about boxing?
I say it is like a religion to me at this point. It's just a lifestyle to me. Like I said, I've been in the gym forever. But shoot, let's take it even back to me being cocky again. I didn't even have a game plan coming to that fight. I'm so serious. My whole game plan was to go in and win. That's it. Not go to the body, not move this way, move that way, move. My whole game plan was just go in and win just because my name Brian Noma Jr. That's it. It was just the stupidest thing ever.
Right.
But when I got dropped, the way I went about it is, like you said, a lot of people be hard on themselves. I went about it, everybody get dropped. It's a part of the game. If you drop people, 20 knockouts, if you drop people, you don't think you can get dropped yourself, you human just like everybody else. Now, of course, your work speaks for you. That's why you may have did better than others. But at the end of the day, they throwing punches like you throwing punches, so anything can happen.
All right, y'all. So just finished them up on this lineup, man. We finna jump right back into it. I got some real juicy questions for y'all, man. What would you say your most valuable asset is as a boxer?
My attitude, my mental part of it, as in, I'm not giving up. I know, just keep going, plain and simple. I don't care if I had a bad sparring session, a bad workout, whatever the case may be. It's a part of the process. You get what I'm saying? So trust the process and just simply keep going. That's how I go about it. Every day is not going to be a good day. If it was, bad days make good days so much better. That's how I go about it.
What do you feel like your hardest punch was that you received? Like, and how did you fight through it?
Shoot, surprisingly it was from a daddy. I ain't gonna lie to you. But yeah, I was about like, it was like our last time sparring, man. He had me over in that corner. He was trying to show me I was his son that day. I think I was like 15 years old. He was going to the body and everything. Now, how did I go about it? Like I said, my attitude. Plain and simple, just keep going. I ain't dead yet, so therefore I'm still punching. That's how I go about it.
Yeah. So, let me ask you this then. So, moving on into the future, of course you're gonna take more fights and everything like that. Who do you have on your hit list for who you wanna take down as, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and single you out and that's who I want? And it can be multiple.
I definitely got a multiple hit list, but the main one being, like I said, next year I really did want to fight Boots Ennis. That's the main one because he's supposed to be this, he's supposed to be that, and I like the confidence that he brings. I like, his whole style, like his attitude coming into the game. I like everything about him, so I want that, plain and simple. I want to show that, yeah, you this and you that, but I am better than you, and I don't like decisions, so I want to go for the knockout.
Facts. What do you feel like your toughest fight was so far?
I ain't gonna lie, that would be a hard one. The toughest fight so far? I'll say my first fight on Top Rank. The reason being it was a year layoff. I did not cut weight the right way. And the guy, it's my first time fighting an Argentinian dude. Them boys, they are tough. They don't get tired, they solid, and they can take a punch. And I came out the first round, I had a whole big stigma that I'm just a knockout legend and things of that nature. So instead of being a true knockout legend and knowing I got time to get it, I tried to force it all in the first round. So I came out too hot. I burnt my load and I was dead. But guess what? He was still standing. He was still coming. Like I said, he tough. He could take a shot. And I'll say that's the hardest one, simply because I had to fight through it like I was real deal dead tired in the first round.
What was the ethnicity you named earlier when you said that? You said
Argentinian.
Argentinian?
Yeah.
Damn. I don't even think I know what that's at, y'all. Don't judge me.
Argentinian.
So boom, when you dealing with something like that, like that's something I actually just want to know out the fly. Like if you punching somebody and it just seems like they not taking the shot. I mean, they taking the shots, no problem. Like, what do you start feeling like yourself when that's going on?
So if you are smart enough, you know for a fact is they gotta have a poker face, right? No matter what, you gotta have a poker face. And they're not gonna tell you that they hurt anything like that. So just keep going. Just keep being smart about it. As long as you're not getting hit, you still pressing them, making them miss, making them pay, and things of that nature. Even if they do make it to the end of the fight, you still won. You won the rounds, and you know you won the rounds. But
it's
even
a chess
still,
game.
It's still a chance that you're going to sleep at the same time.
Yeah.
So as long as you stay on your pivot, doing your job.
So this one, I got two questions really. This for the young fighters right now. When do you feel like the turning table starts to come when they get so deep into their career? Like, when do they start realizing like, okay, I'm finna be one of the hottest. I'm finna have that breakthrough. Like, I know most people. For me, I would say like once you get 20 fights and you undefeated, you might can have 1 or 2 losses if you just got a good showcase going on. Probably not though. But when is your turning table? Do you think young fighters can start realizing like, all right, bro, you need to go ahead and be prepared that you finna start catching this type of money and these type of fighters and, you know, bigger showcases?
I'd say it's bigger than just that. It's really just a mental switch. For example, I know the exact date, December 4th, 2014. I just turned 14 years old, and that was the day I said, you know what, I was another average amateur. Like, I win, lose, you know, that kind of stuff. But that was the day I just said, you know what, I'm fully finna try. Like, a lot of people, they just be doing stuff as well. I was at the time as well, also. But I fully said, all right, let me just really give it all I got and see what happened. So it was a guy I was sparring, that's why I remember the date. And he didn't used to beat me up, but he used to, quote unquote, win a sparring session. So I said, okay, let me just try with everything I got. And it was a whole different thing. Like, I had him running the whole time, I had him bagging up, he couldn't hit me, I was dogging him out the whole time. And that was the day I said, oh snap, so if I literally just try, this is how far I can take it. And I wasn't working as hard as I am, I wasn't doing any of that. So I said, okay, let me try my training a little bit harder. And that's when that started going up through the roof. And then I came back into the sparring or fights and everything. Like, I ain't lose a fight since that day. So all of that just started happening. I'm like, oh snap, it's literally just that easy. Just try. Just try to win. That's all it is. Don't give up.
That's crazy right there, man. I just doing the sport myself, I had realized like, man, if you trying your hardest every day, you can evolve a lot more faster and start realizing what you can do at your full potential. So this for the fighters that I would say, quote unquote, you know, they need a little bit advancement. They on the PEDs and stuff like that. And I want to ask, how do you feel about fighting somebody that's known for PEDs?
I mean, of course, we finna try to get that checked out. What they call vital testing and stuff like that. So of course, we finna try to get the blood work done. But even still, let's say if you do got some assistance, they didn't catch you. Of course, you cheating, but in my head, I still don't care for real. I still gotta win. That's how I go about it. I don't care what you got going on. I'm still going for to get this money.
Facts, man. I always wondered because I always saw when Floyd said he wasn't fighting Manny is because Manny refused to do the drug test in his country.
Yeah, and they got to do drug testing.
Yeah, so I was just like, damn, I wonder if that's really like a huge thing for a lot of people. Like, no, I'm not coming in now with steroids, because you'll get a lot of casuals to come in, and this is when I was a casual at the time, you guys. Still really am, but I'm gonna fake the flunk a little bit. But when we had it to where it was like, man, even with Ryan, a lot of people said, man, that don't increase your speed, that don't increase your IQ, that just make you stronger. And I'm just like, nah, I don't feel like that. How do you feel about somebody that's doing the PEDs? Does that help them in the fight, or is it just?
Yeah, it does help big time. Just think about it like this. What you just said a minute ago about the Argentinian guy that I fought. Imagine somebody. So at the top, let's be real. Everybody is skillful. Everybody got all of that. Now it's all about who is more on point, more disciplined, and things of that nature in the long run. You get what I'm saying? So we humans, so we slowly start to decrease just a little bit. No matter what, we get tired, whatever the case may be, at least just a little bit. So now imagine from round 1 to round 12, like you said, they could take your punches. They could keep coming back. They punching hard, they punching fast the whole entire time. They averaging 100 punches the entire time. They are not dying. That's cheating. You get what I'm saying? So that's what the PEDs and stuff do for you. So it's just like your hard work didn't do that. You had to take something to do that. So therefore, I can't condone any of that.
Facts. Man, how do you feel about the resume of like Floyd doing what he does so long to where it's like, man, he's down there 50 years old and he's still running every day, still going to the boxing gym all the time. Is that like a lifestyle that you would like to adapt into even when it comes close to retirement and everything like that? Do you still want to be able to do expositions and stuff like that, or what?
Most definitely. Speaking of Floyd and his discipline, I'm gonna give a shout out to Bernard Hopkins as well. I look up to both of them for the discipline that they have. You look at them, they was always on weight, they was never big, they was never out of shape, anything like that. So now, when it's time for training camp or anything like that, everybody else training to make weight while they training just to sharpen up strictly for that fighter. A lot of people lack discipline. And it sounds so easy of, let me just tighten up. But guess what? You got bad habits, you don't have enough self-control, and hard work is hard, right? So everybody can't do it. They're not used to it. It's built into their system to, okay, it's hard, but I'm gonna keep going. And I got the same attitude. Like I said, I ain't fighting 7 months, but the whole time I've been in the gym. So people might think I'm slipping on my pimple, but you best believe when I come into the ring, I'm on point.
Facts. So that leads me into, because I use Floyd as an example, y'all. I ain't just trying to piggyback all his success, but he's never been caught for using PEDs
At
before.
all.
So for old school boxing, I hear a lot of rumors. They say, man, all the top greats was using PEDs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You believe that? Do you feel like that's true?
I ain't gonna say all of them, but they wasn't as hard on them to get tested.
Facts.
Like, you know, they wasn't as big on it to test people and things of that nature. I think what they said, the 90s was the big thing for steroids and basketball. Probably the same thing for boxing as well, who knows. But I do believe some people throwing that stuff.
Facts. Man, for long time career purposes, I always hear people bring up CTE and brain damage and stuff like that. How do you avoid that, just being like somebody that's a pro boxer and stuff like that? Do you hard spar every week, or do you kind of do light spars, or do you kind of just say, I'm not going to, indulge in too much sparring? How do you avoid the CTE and the brain damage and all that? So
when I first started boxing, when I first asked my dad to start boxing, he was a little iffy on it simply because we get beat in the face. Our head brain get all mashed up and things of that nature. So he said, okay, if you're gonna do it, we gotta learn some defense. So of course that's step one, learn defense, learn how to move your head, but at the end of the day, we still gonna get punched, right? Because it's a part of the game. So with that being said, I personally don't believe in light sparring, and I personally don't believe in sparring too much. The reason being, you develop a sparring mentality. Let's say you're doing 12 rounds of sparring, and that's set in your head. You are going to do 12 rounds every time. You are not going to try to knock out your opponent. After a while, you just get used to going 12 rounds. My whole thing is, it's a fight. Whatever you do, it's a habit. So every time I step into the ring, it may be sparring, it may not be official, but it's still a fight. You still trying to hit me, I'm still trying to hit you. So I don't believe in light sparring, anything like that. I do believe in hard sparring. So I say, I went to do as many rounds as consistently. Like right now, I'm fighting in March, so I got time to rear deal, chill, and things of that nature. So I don't spar, 12 and 10s all the time. I may do them sporadically just to make sure I still got it, still on point, I'm still in shape. But even still though, it's hard sparring. So you got to keep that fighting attitude and not sparring attitude. For your future, what weight you at right now? I'm at 47, 147.
Do you plan on moving up to do different weight classes and try to get belts in those weight classes as well, or you more on the fence of like, I'm cool with my weight class right now, we'll see later on?
Right now, I'm real comfortable at 147. I'm actually thinking about bouncing back and forth between 140 and 147. I just think that sounds amazing to be undisputed in 2 weight classes at the same time and being active in both weight classes at the same time. But regarding moving up, making 47 is no problem. Like I said, I believe I can make 140. So I will move up eventually to 54, maybe even 160, but I can later on in my career, like around probably 30 or something like that.
Right, and I asked because you came out of honorable mention later on after not the hit list, but the top list of fighters. You said Roberto Duran, and anybody knows Roberto. He was a person that always went to different weight classes and was trying to excel. Same thing with Manny Pacquiao. I think Manny has the most actually.
8.
Yup, he got 8 of them, and it's just how does that kind of make you feel just seeing those type of boxers do that? Like, is that something amazing to you? Do you feel like that's something that you would love to do one day, or do you feel like, man, that's they lane and they successfully did it?
Yeah, so I like being great. So Manny Pacquiao was the 8th division world champion. I did my calculations. I was trying to see if I can either match it or beat it. I can only match it if I 140, but I gotta go all the way up to heavyweight. So I thought about doing it, real deal. Because, like I said, James Toney, I look up to him as well. He started at 160. He moved up all the way to heavyweight, and he was giving them the business. So I thought about doing that as well until I met Shannon Briggs. We took a picture together. He put his fist on my shoulder when he took the picture. If you look at the picture, his fist was the size of my head. So they are just naturally bigger. I'm naturally not going up there. I'm not messing with them big boys. I'm gonna let them have that. So Manny Pacquiao, you can have your 8th division world champions. He started at a lower weight class and moved up to 54, I believe. He got it. You won. I ain't even trying to match it. You got that, pimp. I ain't tripping on that. But with guys like Roberto Duran, and I'm gonna go also with James Toney, I believe those could have been the greatest fighters ever, but they just lacked discipline. That's all it was. Like Duran, he was on and off with the training. Like, he trained his butt off for the first fight with Ray Leonard, but he was partying, just doing his little thing and all of that. I think he had to lose 40 pounds in like probably a month or so just for Ray Leonard. So like I said, in training camp, they're not training to get better. They're not training for the fighters. They're trying to lose weight, which is what he did. Same thing with James Toney and when he fought Roy Jones. He actually was giving Roy Jones problems, but he had to lose a whole bunch of weight just for that fight. You get what I'm saying? So he wasn't fully himself. Like, also, just because you make weight don't mean you are fully you. You are still weight drained, whatever the case may be. You're not fully hydrated just because you ate.
Man. So I'm a piggyback what you just said just a little bit, man. How important is it for people to understand, like, when you make weight, the same night you make weight, people go drink their water, go eat their meals and stuff like that. How much can you blow up after doing something like that after making weight?
I mean, that depends on the person, but to me, it's not really about how much you weigh after the weigh-ins. It's because, like, people, like I said, people lack discipline and self-control. So most people, when they cutting weight, they got all these cravings, right? I'm craving this, I'm craving that, I'm craving this, I'm craving that. So after weigh-ins, they feel like I could just go on a pig out. And guess what? Now you finna feel so sluggish and just fat, and you not you. Like I said, you not you when it come down to fight time. So that's why I say I learned a lot through all my ups and downs regarding my pro career. I done lost weight the wrong way. I done tried to rehydrate the wrong way. I done did a whole lot of things wrong, but I learned from my mistakes and I'm building on it. So just because you gain, I don't care how much you gain after a fight, that don't mean nothing. I don't care if you wear the exact same that you walk around at, you are not gonna be you. Unless you lost the weight the right way, you was real disciplined about it. And also even the rehydration part, you did that the right way. You drank your water, you drank your Pedialyte, you drank your Gatorade, you ate your carbs, your healthy carbs at that. You got your energy back the right way. You didn't do too much. You didn't just pig out just because you got cravings. You took your time about it, you thought about it, and you slowly, just implemented your mind into the game.
Facts. So on the disciplinary type action, matter of fact, I'm gonna disregard that one, y'all. I got something that's been sitting on the back of my mind. So this is something that even I am a victim of. When I look at fighters when they first went through 20 fights, how significant are those 20 first fights? Do you feel like you find people that are advanced? Do you feel like some people will throw out the slogan, man, that man fighting a janitor, he fighting a trash man? Like, how realistic is that? Do some people just take a fight and just be on some like, man, I just want to fight, and then they not even really classified as being an elite fighter, or what?
It's two answers to that question. Well, two parts to my answer. The first part is, in the beginning of your career, you are 0-0. All right. I can't fight Floyd Mayweather if I ain't even had a pro fight yet. So how am I going to fight an elite fighter if I don't even have a fight on my record yet? So the first part of your career is all about, you know, building your resume, making it look good on paper, because to the casual fans, it looks amazing. It looks, oh snap. He got, for example, Mike Tyson, he was 15-0, 15 knockouts, I believe, in the first round. I know all of them was fast. So it looks real good, right? And guess what? Now he's the baddest man on the planet. He is forever known as that. So now when he goes to all these, now he can get the big fights because his name is out. It's all about marketing. At the end of the day, okay, how good you are, it's all about marketing. For example, Andre Ward, very great fighter. People don't necessarily care about Andre Ward because he didn't market himself like that. You get what I'm saying? Now he doing his job, you know, he got the podcast and things of that nature, but
Olympic gold medalist, by the way, y'all.
Exactly. But yeah, amazing, right? Olympic gold medalist,
fighter.
But yeah, people wasn't really tuning in like they was watching with Floyd Mayweather, Roy Jones, and things of that nature. They wasn't tuning in because he didn't market himself. That's why I'm learning as well. I need to market myself. Okay, I mastered the training side of it. I need to master the talking and marketing side of it as well. That's why I'm here today, and I'm trying to get stuff done as well. But the other side to that question is, dang, I forgot the other side to the question.
Look, I want to ask you something real quick anyways in between that. And if you catch it, then you catch it. But when I was growing up, I used to love watching Mike Tyson's fights. I used to be like, damn, he really knocking folks out, because and it wasn't nothing to watch it, man. Like you said, you can watch him fight somebody in the first round and it's over with 15 fights in.
So with that, this is how I look at that one right there. Also, I do remember my answer to the last question. I can blend those two together. You were talking about him knocking out nobodies. What'd you do? You're a barber, right? Do you believe in yourself?
Of course.
Do you train hard?
Of course.
So if I was to knock you out, did I knock out nobody? Wait.
In the boxing world.
Hold on. At one point, Mike Tyson was nobody. At one point, Muhammad Ali was nobody. At one point, Floyd Mayweather was nobody. You gotta win you gotta do something to become somebody. So I gotta fight this person that nobody knows. I gotta fight that person nobody knows to become somebody. Also, let's think about this. Muhammad Ali, I believe his record is 56-5. How many of those people you know?
Oh shit, a lot of them.
You know a lot of them? Name
Man,
them.
we got my boy Joe Frazier,
George Foreman,
all the classics. We're gonna do go ahead and finish it up.
No, you do it. I'm a historian. You do it.
All right, let's do it. We got Muhammad Ali. We're gonna say he fought Larry Holmes.
Yeah.
Okay, we got Larry Holmes. You got George Foreman. You got Joe Frazier. You got
Take your time.
We're gonna take our time because you know I ain't no old school fanatic at all. This is my casual point right here, y'all.
But real quick, you see how you still hesitating though?
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. No matter what, you got those fights that make your career though.
Right.
That's all it's all about. You got fights that make your career.
He fought the white boy that kept calling Cassius instead of
he was black. Ernie Terrell.
Okay, see what I'm saying?
Terrell.
Casual point again for y'all.
Yeah.
We got what's his name? Then he beat him right. Beat him to a poke. Let me see if I can get two more for you. I got to show up just a little bit here, y'all.
Ken Norton.
I don't know him. I ain't gonna lie.
You don't even know Ken?
Nope.
But,
Casual at his finest.
But look. At the end of the day, that is the legend. People say the greatest of all time, but yet people don't. Out of all those 56-5 fights he had, that's his record. We don't really know who he fought. That's why it's all about building your record. Now, yes, I got those top fights I want. Let me go on to fight this dude. Let me fight that dude.
So what makes him the greatest then?
It's those fights it's those make or break fights. For example, Sonny Liston, he was 22 years old. Sonny Liston was the killer at the time. Sonny Liston was Mike Tyson. Sonny Liston was the Mike Tyson. He was the George Foreman and everything like that. So guess what? At 22 years old, this young, scrawny kid that everybody thought was too weak and everything. He couldn't mess with the big, bad Sonny Liston that was knocking out everybody. He beat him. Not only beat him, he made him quit. He stopped him.
Okay.
And then he did it again in I believe in the first or second round with the Phantom Punch. And guess what? He took years off because he was going through a situation with the government and stuff like that. He came back and beat the next big bad man, George Foreman. And this is older Muhammad Ali. You get what I'm saying?
So what you saying is like
those make and break fights.
If you got a high amount of fights and you knocking them out, you winning them, you up there in your record, that will make you a potential greater, like a greater fighter at the end of the day, right?
I say it's just those make or break fights for real. Also,
So if you fought champions and stuff, like you got a good resume versus a bunch of people that nobody might not know. If you got real known champions, then you good.
Even forget the fact that I know you, I don't know you. How do you look when you do it? For example, let's go back to today's time. Abdullah Mason, great fighter. Do you know who he be fighting?
No.
Exactly, but guess what? He looked amazing when he knocked him out. So that's why everybody is watching him. That's why we like, okay.
He definitely got the spotlight.
Exactly, he got it because, okay, he knocking out people we don't know, but he not just looking sloppy when he do it. It's not anything about it. He looking great when he do it at the same time. So it's bigger than just who you be. It's like I said, it's those make or break fights. That's how I would go about it.
And I'm gonna say it like this too. To me, like my personal favorites, I love watching Caleb Plant fight. I love watching David Benavidez. I love watching Canelo fight. So like I say, old schools, maybe it is a fault of me just not watching those fights, but to me, I would say like I love watching those fights because I've seen them beat people that are great. But I'm in that time period though, you know what I'm saying? So it's hard to even say, you know, what I can.
I got shown this as well. Caleb Plant, I love that boy fight style. I still watch him still to this day. Besides Canelo and Benavidez, and Darrell.
I was just about to say we got Darrell.
And Darrell, those three fights, who is big that you care about that he beat?
Man, who was big like a champion? Or you saying like just a big fight?
What's a big fight besides those three? And I don't know how many fights he got, but I'm pretty sure he got a lot. Besides those three fights, who has he beat that you really did care about? I say, nah, he got it. I respect that it was a hard fight, whatever the case may be.
And you said besides Canelo, David, and Darrell?
Yeah.
Man.
You got to sit and think about it.
You do?
So once again, it's those fights that make or break you.
I think it's all like about. You said, it's in a time period. Yeah. Like I'm just sitting here and a victim of the time period.
So that's why Floyd's so big on he is the best ever because he got so many of those fights.
I definitely got Floyd as top 3 for me.
Yeah. The reason being, Diego Corrales and him, they were both pound for pound, probably I think top 3 at the time in the same weight class, both undefeated. And he not only beat him, he dominated him. After that, you got Ricky Hatton. He was undefeated at the time too. He beat him. You got Zab Judah, who was the baddest man. I ain't gonna say the baddest man.
Yeah, he got a lot of names on it. Shane Mosley.
You get what I'm saying? Shane Mosley, who just knocked out Antonio Margarito. Madonna, who just beat the brakes off of Adrian Broner. The list goes on. He got names on top of names on top of names. That's why he called himself the best ever.
Yeah. So 50-0, by the way.
You feel me? And then he was doing it at an old age. He done called Canelo, who is, I'm gonna give him his props. To me, he's the face of boxing right now. You get what I'm saying? Of course, he on the back end. He just fighting his little bull fights and all of that. But he done fought Canelo when Canelo thought he was that dude. He finna step up and everything. You know, Floyd, he supposed to be old. He was supposed to be a little bit slow and things like that. He said, no, I'm still him. And guess what? That's another make or break fight. So it's all about those make or break fights. Floyd got the most to me, make or break fights.
How you feel about people that, like how you said, he just taking his little bull fights? I feel, for me personally, when people say that about Canelo and they say why he avoiding David, then why he avoiding taking these bigger fights instead of like just going after the real prospects that's trying to show him, or even Crawford even called him out a couple times. How do you feel about that? About him, I guess, quote unquote, ducking?
I can understand it. I can say that I can understand it. But the person in me, I'm not, let's all say this. We haven't been where he been at. We ain't seen what he's seen. We ain't been in the fights that he been into. We not getting the money that he get. So this is from my standpoint, this is how I feel about it. I understand him, but the person in me, I still want those fights because I like proving. I just like shutting people up and proving myself. So for example, when I won the belt, I was in his hometown. Everybody was booing me. Everybody wanted me to lose. And guess what? I knocked them out. You get what I'm saying? So I'm pretty sure my next fight, who I said I already wanted, Boots, everybody gonna be down against me. They gonna say I ain't this and I ain't that, but guess what? I like shutting everybody up. So that's just my personality and everything. I just like showing y'all, no, I'm that dude, plain and simple. Thanks. And as you see, Crawford got the same attitude. That's why he trying to go for Canelo. Everything is against him on that fight. He got to jump up these weight classes. He fighting what people say is the baddest man and everything. Like everybody saying he gonna lose, and he got that attitude. But with Canelo, what make the world go round?
Money.
And guess what he collected?
Benjis.
Exactly. So no matter what we say, he done already fought all these people. He became undisputed and all. He done fought all these people. So like I said, I understand him. He done already proved to him. Let's say he probably said it. I already proved myself that I ain't scared of nobody. I done proved myself that I can fight this person and beat him and all of that kind of stuff. I done proved myself already. Now I'm finna go and collect these checks.
Facts.
So I can understand it.
So to me, I personally feel like if you got somebody that has an extensive career already like that and he didn't already show what he can do and is on, I'm not gonna say on the back end because I feel like Canelo can still fight really well right now.
I believe so too.
I ain't gonna say he in his prime, but I do feel like Canelo is still a great fighter. But it's like, why try to prove it even more still with these people that are so hungry and try to go for that? Like you said, the money make the world go round. And that's what it's about for him right now. To me, you know, Crawford, he just now kind of getting that worldwide notoriety like within the last 5 years, I'd say, at the most, honestly. So, of course, he gonna be hungry. Of course, he going after everything he can. So, to me personally, that's just how I feel on it. But at the end of the day, we got Brian Norman telling y'all how he feel about all these subjects, man. I done ran out of questions. Y'all done seen him school me, man. We gonna post that right there. Slim Millions get schooled real quick. Then we gonna go ahead and give out the hot subjects for y'all. You got anything else you wanna let the people know, Brian?
Really, not nothing necessarily at the moment, but I want to have a definite date. Y'all need to push Tiebreaker and tell them, man, give me a date, man. That's all I'm saying. So I'm trying to, like I said, 2025 is my takeover year. If I can fight 17 times in 1 year, you best believe I'm gonna do it. I love to fight, I love to train, I love to hustle. I'm trying to go out here and get mine, you feel me? So March, I should be back in the ring. If I can get back in April, but I'll do it again. But y'all can catch me now, I'm saying, like I said, 20 zits and no 20 knockouts, and we're finna turn that knockout streak up a little bit more.
$1 Million Cuts, man. Y'all come check us out. Hey, man, end of the video real quick, man. We out. We just ran it with Brian Norman, dog. Great interview, man. He really schooled me. He really let me know the game. He really let me know everything that he goes through in boxing. I'm gonna let him say his testimony on that.
See, my brother, first thing first is you need to study. You need to get in these books, my brother. You need to get in these books, you know what I'm saying? But shout out to Hitsville, shout out to my boy, you know what I'm saying? Y'all, he doing the thing. He got me clean, he got me right, you know what I'm saying? It's time to go hit the club. Magic City, I'm coming.